welcome, I suppose, for many of you. Now, here's a little bit of a hint there for if you do come onto campus. And we're going to have a look at what coming onto campus will look like for you, and also having a look at if you do come onto campus, if you do have online classes. So probably one of the most important things that I do have everybody learn when you're on campus is how to log into the Wi-Fi rather than using up your data. So if you do any of your classes online, or you do come into any of our campuses, which you're welcome to attend any of those campuses, you would use your student number and your student password to access that Wi-Fi. So you are able to attend any of the campuses, not just the Nirimba campus, which you're attached to. And all of our campuses do require you to QR code into all of the buildings. So we do have a record for you. And we also do have some COVID safe practices there. Now, I'm going to, normally I would do a Kahoot with you all sitting there, but I'm going to give a go of you guys doing a Kahoot for me online. Now, if you have come straight from year 11 and 12, then you are going to know everything about a Kahoot because teachers love Kahoots. If you haven't come straight from year 11 and 12, don't worry, they're super simple to actually to use. So what I'm going to get you guys to do is to log on to the website, even if you could have had the app, or even if you just log on and say, type in Kahoot, and it's then going to ask you guys for a game pin, okay? So on your browser, if you haven't used Kahoot before, kahoot.it is what we're after. And I am going to do a little bit of a different share. Let me see. This is where I'm going to be technical here and find my Kahoot. Okay, so I am choose a way to play. Okay, there we go. That's new then. Okay, classic. So the instructions, y'all should be able to see my screen there that says ready to join. So go on to kahoot.it and you need to put up in a game pin. So this is the game pin that you guys are going to put in. Oh, look at that. Leanna May is already onto it. Perfect. If you're not able to get onto Kahoot, please don't stress. It's kind of just a bit of an icebreaker for y'all. And it gives you a bit of an idea of students who are actually enrolling in the course, and usually it kind of gives you a bit of an idea of a feeling that you're not alone as well. So the questions aren't tricky, they're just about yourselves. Yes, this is, Avril, this is the foundation nursing, so you're good, if that's what you want to be. Oh, look at that, 38 out of 67 people, perfect. So it's nice to see I've got 68 people and lots of people have said hi. Again, then this is being recorded. I think the record feature's disabled for you guys to record, but we are going to put this up online. 46, I'll wait a little bit longer. As I said, if you haven't actually done a Zoom, you'll certainly get good at them. Are we good to go? Okay, so I'll just type here to Alea. You may need to check out the settings on your computer. Everyone else can hear, I think, can't they? Yep. Okay, if you haven't been able to join, please don't stress. I'm going to start the Kahoot. So basically, if you haven't done a Kahoot, just have to choose the option. So this is kind of a bit of an option. There's no right or wrong answer. A, B, C, D, and most of the questions just relate to you guys. Okay, let's start. Normally, imagine this in the building together. Beautiful. So for many of you guys, I think it's a bit more daunting when you actually do come into the campus. A little easier for you at home, unless you're a bit nervous about using technology, which hopefully after the sort of first week or two, you hit the ground running and you're smashing Zoom and you're smashing online and everything like that. What I quite like about this is that if you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm so nervous, I haven't studied for years, or I don't know anybody, just about everybody sitting here today feels the same. So natural to feel nervous, natural to feel anxious. Hopefully after the first week or two of getting to meet other people, even if it is online, you'll start to feel a little bit more confident about maybe returning to study, or B, starting, a course which is different to what you've done. So certainly not alone in the fact that you might be feeling a little bit nervous. Question number 2, I'm just going to pop my air conditioner on too while this answer is getting done. It's getting hot in here. Oh, there we go. There's no points allocated. Question 2. Wonderful. Oh, not so many mums, actually. Normally I have lots and lots of mums. So lots of different types of people. Obviously students who you guys have come straight from school and probably may not have achieved what you were hoping to have achieved, and have come through from the college. What I really love about teaching at the college is that the door is still open for you guys to be able to achieve your goal of, for many of you, being a nurse. And we do really help to upskill you guys. So any of those skills that you may not have been able to develop during year 11 and 12, a lot of the units that we do will upskill you to be more successful at university as well. Returning from study and mums and a dad, no dads. My hint for all of the school leavers, when you're doing group work, match up with someone who's returning or a mum with kids, because they're always, more often than not, our students who are extremely successful. So if you are someone who's returning back to study, or you've got a mum and you're going to be juggling things, be confident in yourself and be confident in your skills, because more often than not, our kind of like mature age students are super successful, because obviously you guys are juggling a bit more. Sometimes there's a little bit more passion as well. So please back yourself, even if you haven't studied for a while, or if you're coming from school and you didn't have a positive experience. The foundations program, if you put in the hard work, if you check in with teachers and see me if you're struggling, is a great transition for you guys. So my next one. Oh, with 11 people, that's exciting that some people do know them. But most of you guys probably don't know anybody who's doing this course. I do remember when I started uni, it had been 13 years since I'd had to make friends. So You know, if there is the opportunity to come into campus and to do some activities, which I did read an email that said, you know, they've got some on-campus activities coming up. It is a great way to get to know people. And I really encourage you in your classes to, you know, when your classes are a little smaller, sometimes they get to like, you know, there's 25 people, to kind of reach out, see if you can put your camera on, to feel confident to meet people. Because I suppose one of the studies say one of the most important factors to studying in your first year is making connections, okay? And it is a little bit more difficult for you guys to make those connections online. So certainly, you know, try to engage in those classes. There's opportunities throughout all of your classes to get into breakout rooms, cameras off, camera on. It's the best sort of, you know, we can offer at the moment until we get back into face-to-face. So I really encourage you guys to reach out and try to make some friends as well. Now, where is Jessica? Jessica Locke, mum of 3 and a child on the way. Well done. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Yes. And I'm going to get back. I am going to get back to these questions kind of like at the end. So at the end, I'm going to scroll back up to the big list. And if I've missed yours, pop your hand up or yell out and I can hopefully answer them for you as well. Okay, my next question, 4 or 5. Beautiful. So definitely this course will articulate or guarantee you a position in Bachelor of Nursing, Bachelor of Health Science, pending grades. And we're going to have a look at what those grades need to be. Any course outside of the Bachelor of Nursing and Bachelor of Health Science are not guaranteed pathways. So what I'm meaning by that is the fact that you will have to apply through the Western Sydney portal once you've completed your course, and the admissions team will have a look at your GPA and your grades and make some sort of evaluation as to whether or not you're eligible to go into another course. Okay, so certainly I'm seeing lots of questions around midwifery. Midwifery is actually only interview only. So this course will not have you articulate into midwifery. I think you might need to go through the portal for midwifery. Certainly the higher your GPA is, maybe the better your possibility is. Throughout my years of doing this, which I think is maybe about 6 or 7 years, I know, and there's other students who I definitely know who've moved towards midwifery after doing maybe a year of nursing. I've had one student out of thousands who's applied to midwifery and she's gotten into that. So on the View site, which I'll show to you guys shortly, on the left-hand side, I do have some tips and hints for those people wanting to get into midwifery. So things like, you know, guide to the interview process, things that you can do to make yourself a more appealing candidate for midwifery. So if you do have any questions around any other courses other than Bachelor of Nursing or Health Science, you would be best off directing those to admissions, because I'm kind of a little bit of an expert on nursing and health science, but not so much the others. Okay, my next question. Well, perfect. Are there some people who are on campus? Anyone on campus now? Because I think you could have gone into like one of the library or study rooms to get there. Yeah. I actually don't know what the meeting ID is, to be honest, because it's not my meeting ID. But if you need someone that's near Sting, if you need someone to jump online, tell them to jump onto the Western Sydney website and there's a link that they can click to. Oh, look, Alana's got it. How good's that? Oh, no, that's the Kahoot code. Oh, there we go. There's the meeting ID. How good's this? I feel like I could put my feet up on the table here and you're all doing my work for me. So, okay, kind of a bit of an idea, icebreaker. So you can imagine we'd be in a room now, and by this point I'll be asking you to introduce yourself to the person next to you. But of course I can't do that. So imagine that that's the next thing that we've done. Okay, let's go to PowerPoint slide. Okay, you can see my PowerPoint slide now, can't you? We have been studying online for a year just about, but sometimes I still do feel like a bit of a boomer when I'm online. Okay, so these are my contact details. So you can find my email if you just sort of start to search the directory, but certainly take notice of my email. That is the best way to contact me because I'm not always in my office because we are doing a lot of work from home still. My meeting ID is simple, it's my name. So I do host drop-in sessions on Zoom, especially quite a lot at the very beginning of the semester, but I will send you out emails with my contact details in it and with my Zoom ID, but easy to catch me on Zoom. So we won't, normally we would have face-to-face meetings, but we're not having those this term. So if you do need to meet up with me, I will have drop-in sessions for you all to drop in, ask a question, anything like that. But if you do need to see me outside of those drop-in sessions, if you send me an email and we can organise a time to meet via Zoom. Let me have a look at some more questions. Okay, I have, look at Mariam. That is amazing. You've got a mother of two and blind husband. Wow, amazing. How good are you? You would actually be able to qualify for a carer's form, and we can have a look at that. I did see someone's asking, does this give you the opportunity to go into paramedicine? I'm pretty sure the paramedicine ATAR is like in its late 90s. So no, it won't. And your best option, you contact admissions to have a look at it. But certainly if you look at the first year Bachelor of Health Science, a lot of those units will transfer across. So you could certainly do 1 year of health science and apply to transfer into paramedicine as well. Let me have a little look. Renew messages. Okay, wonderful. Okay, let's have a look at my next slide. So for some of you guys, can we do like a little bit of a hand up? I've got Nia Dahal. Did you have a question there, Nia? You've got your little hand up. Hand up? Hand up? No? Okay, I am going to get you guys. So, oh, yep. Audrey, did you have a hand up? No? So what I'm going to do is, for those who are fancy on Zoom, some of you might be, some of you might not be, I'm going to get you to do a tick as a yes if you are enrolled in the Foundations Accelerated course. And I'm going to get you to do a cross or a no, even though we need some others, if you're doing 2 terms. So there's 2 courses that you guys would be enrolled in. It is, I'm going to fast track, which is 1 term, and standard, which is 2 terms. What have we got people enrolled into? Yeah. Yep, you can put it in the chat, or you can put it in like if you go down to more, yep, 2 term, 1 term, you Those are quick. Accelerated, yeah. Good. Perfect. So what's the difference? So our lucky one-termers will be out of here kind of, I think it's about the end of June. And our two-termers will finish in about October. So regardless of which course structure you've gone that you're enrolled into, you must complete all of the units to be eligible, okay? And complete meaning you must pass all of those units, okay? So our one-term people are doing 5 units, and it's a really busy study load. If you are doing Foundation Accelerated, then we are able to offer you a part-time option, and we're going to have a look at that on the next slide. Things to consider if you do take up the part-time option are that you won't finish till October. If you are receiving any Centrelink study allowance, then your number of credit points will drop below that and you'll no longer be entitled to receive that. So certainly that could be something to consider. If you have got any questions around that, you would need to contact Centrelink, not me. But they're things to consider if you are going to drop down. Reasons people would drop down to the part-time option is, number one, the timetable is maybe not conducive to having kids or having family or being able to have that balance of work and life. Sometimes some people choose to drop down to part-time in our accelerated program in order to have less units, to be able to manage that academic load a little bit more, and then hopefully feel like they could be more successful in their grades as well. Unfortunately, our two-termers, there is not a part-time option for you. The only way you could do a part-time option is that it would run over 2 years, which means that you wouldn't have the potential to start university until 2023. Okay, so unfortunately, our fast track people are the only people who can drop down. Okay, so in order to articulate to the Bachelor of Nursing, you need to ensure that, so this is our, that you've completed all of the required units, okay? If you've got one left out, then you're not going to be able to articulate off to university. And I will share this PowerPoint for you guys as well as an email as well, so you've got a copy of this too. So you need to obtain a GPA of 7, okay, or higher. So this is about an average of C+, which is between 60 and 69 marks. Look, to be honest, if you attend, if you participate, if you ask questions, if you engage in resources that we've got on offer in terms of study resources, Studiosity, which you're going to learn all about, it's a really achievable GPA, okay? For some of you, it may not be, but we've got some other options for you as well. The other requirement is that you needed to have successfully passed the foundations course. Now, to pass the foundations course, you needed to have met the English requirement and the GPA requirement. So basically that last dot point is just around making sure that you meet the English requirement, okay? And the English requirement is a C in academic English for our fast trackers, and it's a C in Introduction to Academic Communication too. But we're going to keep reminding you about that. So some of the campuses are a little bit more popular than others, and it will be a little bit like the ATAR, okay? So the ATAR for Parramatta and the ATAR for Liverpool is higher compared to Campbelltown and compared to the Hawkesbury campus. So the 7 will give you a guaranteed position at the Hawkesbury campus, and I'm quite sure they're still also including the Campbelltown campus, okay? If you wish to get into the Liverpool and Parramatta campus, you will need to get a higher GPA. Now, they don't tell me what that higher GPA is because it does fluctuate each year. And it could be the fact that, you know, the Campbelltown one might be higher than 7 as well. So if you do have any questions around GPAs for campuses, I really strongly recommend that you go to admissions. This last year, don't quote me, but from memory, if you wanted to get into the Parramatta and if you wanted to get into the Liverpool campus, your GPA, I think it was about 8.5, might have been 8 or 8.5. I can't quite remember. So to achieve an 8 GPA, you need an average of Bs in all your units, okay? So if you want to go to a different campus, you're going to have to strive a little higher for that. Okay, my next one. So if you want to go into health science, so for some of you at this point, you may want to go into Bachelor of Health Science. For some of you, you end up with no choice because you don't get the right GPA, okay? So if you don't reach the 7 GPA, then we do have other options for you. So if you achieve a GPA of higher than 6.5 and you weren't successful to get into nursing, you will receive an offer to Bachelor of Health Science. Now, remember, a Bachelor of Health Science does not then pathway into nursing. You would have to apply to transfer into nursing, and those units will not give you any credit towards your nursing degree, okay? But we do offer you the health science as an option, as a backup, if you weren't successful at getting that 7 GPA. If you get below a 6.5 GPA, then you will still receive an offer to a course. So if you receive a GPA of 6, then you'll get an offer to the health science degree at the college. So a 6.5 is a health science degree at the campus, at Western Sydney Uni campus, which is Campbelltown. If you get below 6.5, your offer will be for the college. And if you just pass and get a 5.5, it'll be for extended diploma. So I want you to understand that if you don't get that 7, we do have some other pathways for you. And that might be a conversation that we have a look at closer towards you finishing and graduating and going, oh my God, Lenine, I'm not going to get 7. What can I do? So I just wanted you guys to know that there are some other options out there as well. Okay, so these are the units that you guys needed to make sure that you are enrolled in. So I think they make the enrolling pretty easy this day and age, but please just make sure that if you're enrolled in the accelerated pattern of study, that you have all of these units in, you've enrolled in them, and then hopefully you've been able to allocate into them. You'll see down the bottom, if you are wanting to do a part-time option, the only 2 units that are on offer next term are science for health professionals and health communication, okay? If you withdraw from English, skills, or maths, then you will not be able to complete your course this year because those units are not on offer until this time next year, okay? So please make sure if you are wanting to go part-time that you withdraw from science and health communication, okay? And you can withdraw from those through My Student Records, okay? If you're going to, and you're not confident, send me an email around that as well. Easy. No problem there, Jessica. Unfortunately, my 2-termers, you have no option but to go full-time, and you've got 4 units in term 1 and 4 units in term 2. So I've seen lots of like chat around the fact that there is a lot of face-to-face or online to online or wherever. The hours of the foundations course are really demanding, and it is a full-time course, okay? So, and I don't think we really have a lot of evening classes as well. So if you do work full-time during the daytime, you are going to have to make a decision about whether or not you're able to continue with this course. Or, you know, you may be someone, I've even had a mum who's gone, I don't care about this course taking me 2 years, and they've just done 2 units in term 1 and term 2, and then they've picked them up the following year. Okay, so what I would really encourage you guys is that I guarantee you after week, I'm going to say week 2 or 3, you're going to want to quit, a lot of you. Okay, because to go from like Camp Granada, where you guys, when did you finish your HSC in November, and, you know, living the life around the pool, and then all of a sudden, jumping in and having to study full time, it's a real shock to the system. So I really would encourage any of you, if you're struggling, if you're thinking about withdrawing from the course, send me an email, we'll have a chat, because we do have a lot of support services at the college and at the university. And I would love to give you guys the opportunity to learn about those before withdrawing from the course as well. One of the things, okay, I'm going to keep going. So in foundation studies, you're actually not able to repeat any units, okay? The only unit, my disclosure there, the only unit that you are able to repeat is English, and that's only to be able to pass the course, okay? So it means that you're going to have to give it your best shot, okay? You need to submit every assessment task. You know, you need to try to reach out if you are having difficulties. And sometimes at the beginning of, kind of like term 1, there are some people who actually might have got a couple of E's that we end up recommending they withdraw from the course because they're not going to reach that 5.5 or that 6, okay? So one shot at it, so please ensure that you give it your best, okay? And by saying that, I think that, you know, we do structure the course in the fact that a lot of your assessment tasks are completed during class time. So yes, we've got a lot of face-to-face time, but you are given a lot of opportunity to complete tasks during class time, okay? One of the units that I teach on, which some people might have me as their teacher, you're the lucky ones, is health communication. And virtually all of your assessment tasks and your preparation for those tasks is done during class time. Okay, so there is an expectation that there will be some work you'll need to do outside of class time, but we do a lot of that work during them. Okay, my next one. So study expectations and what to expect. Study load is usually around 24 hours, okay, face-to-face or Zoom to Zoom and such like that. And we do record the Zoom sessions. So if your internet drops out, something happens, you are able to watch those classes. In my experience, most people don't watch those classes, okay? So don't think, oh, I'm just going to watch the Zoom classes next week and I'm going to continue to work full time. The balance doesn't happen. And some of your classes for foundation studies go for 6 hours in a week. And I guarantee you, none of you will watch them for 6 hours back. So try to make sure that you make yourself available. Checking emails. A lot of communication from me is going to be coming through emails, extensions, correspondence from the university, all comes through your student email. So make sure you keep on top of checking that. And if you ever do need to email any of the teachers, make sure it's from your student email and not your Hotmail. Do people have Hotmail anymore? I think Hotmail's more my vintage. Yep, there we go. Thanks, Sally. Yes. Or is it like a Google Drive email address, isn't it? So, and they're definitely not going to answer you on Snapchat. So make sure you send that through your student email. One thing to really note okay? If you have not studied, from memory, it is, I'm going to say 5 years, but you guys need to take responsibility and check that from my memory. If you have not studied 5 years in Australia at high school level, then you do have an English requirement that you must meet in order to actually start your degree, okay? So what I mean by that is that I'll give you a prime example. I've had people who have immigrated to Australia. They've done 2 years of study in like year 11 and 12 here. They got their certificate, they're an Australian citizen, all of those things. They still require to do an IELTS test or an equivalent of an IELTS test in order to actually be able to study and start the bachelor. Okay, so if you have studied overseas and you have lived here for 10, 15, 20 years, you will still need to meet an English requirement, even though you may have the most wonderful English and you've been living here for 20 years, okay? It comes down to your study here. So a prime example, I had this lady who studied her kindergarten to year 6 in Australia. Her mum and dad went overseas. There are some, like if you go to certain countries, they're exempt. She went back to Greece. What a great life. And she studied her high school in Greece. She's come back. She's in her, I'm going to say she's in her 30s. So she come back straight after finishing school, and she had to get an IELTS test or an English proficiency requirement. So ordinarily what would have happened is that when you finished your degree, you had to meet that English requirement. Now the Nursing and Midwifery Board has changed that requirement that you need to meet that prior to starting your degree, okay? So if you are someone who thinks that might be you, jump onto the Nursing and Midwifery Board and you can read all the information about that. Or stay online afterwards and we can have a chat about what you should start to do, okay? Now, this is a requirement to every single university and not just Western Sydney Uni, okay? So back to why you would contact me, okay? If you are not sure about your units, and I've seen, some people are saying, I can only get into 3 units. What do I do? How do I do this? Questions like that. If you fail a unit, if you're thinking of withdrawing, if you're not doing the normal pattern of study, please don't consult your friend because it could put you a whole year behind. I had a student last year who withdrew from mathematics in term 1, which meant that she actually couldn't finish the foundations course because we don't offer that unit again. Okay, the units are only offered once per year, which means that you would put yourself a whole year behind. So please make sure you contact me if you're going to withdraw from units. If you've got any personal issues. So we have plenty of resources such as counselling, disability support, support for primary carers. I think there was a mum who was looking after a blind husband. And we have lots of online resources as well. So counselling is all free through the university, and you can access that online, face-to-face. Well, I don't think face-to-face at the moment, but via Zoom. So you certainly can engage in those services yourself. If you're a bit stuck and you're a bit overwhelmed and you're not sure of the resources, contact me and then I can refer you off to that as well. Let me just see. Okay, next one. So I feel like most of you guys would have seen the portal. So this is where you will access units that you're enrolled in, add enrolling units, unenroll from units, look at your timetable, see any bills and such that you might have. So that's a lot of your stuff is just going to go through your portal. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I've got to say on that screen. And views site. So your first week of college is going to be trying to navigate views. Now, for some of you guys, you can log on to views at the moment, but I don't think any of your courses are going to be available. So all of your coursework, all of your assessments, completing all of your assessment tasks is all done through views. You certainly can log on to them, but I don't think you guys will have any classes. So I will show you what it does look like. Where's my views site? Let me see. Got to go to Chrome. Okay. Go to a new share. I can close that off. There we go. So how lucky am I that I've got 50 billion view sites? But one of the units that many of you guys will be doing is health communication. Yep. There we go. I'll go into, and this is the structure of what your views sites all look like. Most of them all look kind of the same. You have this landing page that's got all the information about the course, and really important, I would encourage you all to make sure you jump in and download all the learning guides. So learning guides kind of got all the information about the course, all the information about assessment tasks and due dates as well. I think my biggest tip for you guys, and you'll learn this in your units, to be successful at university, it's not always the smartest person, but it's the most organized person. So I have got a girl and a boy. No offense to any boys, but there's mostly girls. You know, little things like creating folders on your computers, you know, setting up folders like that, downloading your readings, downloading your learning guides. Those sorts of things are going to be the things that are going to keep you in front and probably to be able to be more successful. I always say the more organized you are, the more successful you're going to be at tertiary studies. So you can see here on the left-hand side, and all of these look the same. Here would be where you would access the weekly work, and you'll see that for those people doing health communication, your first week of work would be accessed through here. And it's got all the information, the plan, PowerPoints, and what you're actually going to do. The other important part is over on the left-hand side, you'll find out all the information about your assessments. You can click on them, lots of resources, we've even got videos to help you guys with this. And then finally, where you submit them as well. Okay, so all of this is up on your views sites that you'll slowly, I think they open them 5 days before class. So as soon as they open, jump online and download your learning guides. And I don't know, those people I see on my daughter's computer, she's got like that countdown. Put all your assessment tasks when they're due into your calendar. Things like that will help you guys out as well. Okay, my next one. There are other HEBA, there are other tests that are equivalent for your English requirements. So jump onto the Nursing and Midwifery Board, and they'll have, number one, the tests that are valid, how long ago you had to have done them, because I think they have to have been done in the last 12 months. And then finally, what the requirements are that you need to have for those as well. Okay, back to my PowerPoint. Where is it? Here it is. There we go. Okay, next. So from this course, of course, you can get into Bachelor of Nursing, Bachelor of Health Science, PDHPE, and Bachelor of Health Science, Therapeutic Rec, Health Promotion and Health Services Management. Midwifery, paramedicine, all of those are not direct entry, and you'd need to apply for those, and that would be based on what your results were. Key dates here for you guys. So what you need to ensure is that you don't book any holidays during these times. Your teachers will go into detail around special consideration. And if you already have book a holiday, where no one's really booking too many holidays, realistically, have a chat with me if you've already booked a holiday and it's during term. We could talk about what you can do for that. If you are wanting a copy of key dates, if you go onto the college website, which I can show you now, I'll show you what the college website. Here it is. Okay, so the college website, which many of you guys might have already accessed, there is lots of information, and sometimes it gets tricky to find stuff as well. So we do complicate things a little bit for you guys, because sometimes you need to find forms on the college website, and sometimes you need to find forms on Western Sydney's website as well. So we really, at times, make things difficult for you and confusing, which I apologize in advance. So if you pop into current students, this is where you'll find lots of links of things to help you out with. Okay, so student support, orientation, and this is where your important dates is. Probably my biggest one here is our special consideration form, which you're going to hear a bit about this in all of your classes. Has to be accessed from the college website, not the university website. They're totally different forms. Most other forms you would access through the Western Sydney website, but your special consideration form, which is what you would apply for if you couldn't do an assignment on time, like if something happens through the college website, and it looks like that. Okay. Yes, so download the unit outline and learning guide, definitely, for all your courses, and that's going to help you get there. Okay, I'm going to get back to this one, share. So let me see. Oh, why are we not getting onto that? Okay, so you're back on my PowerPoint. Good. I can see that I've got some people's cameras who are still on, and you haven't fallen asleep yet. So I've still got you all, thankfully. So we've got lots of services at the college and at the university. You can access any of these services at any of the campuses. So if you live closer to Campbelltown, you can access these services through Campbelltown. Whichever one is your closest campus, you can access. Things like careers, we've got disability services. There are childcare centre here on the Narimba campus, the libraries, student accommodation. I don't know about that at the moment. Surely it's on, I don't know. And wellbeing services as well. Good question. If I just kind of go across textbooks, you won't need any textbooks for any of the foundations courses. Sometimes you may need to download a workbook, which you can either print or work on electronically. I certainly know for health communication, we do ask you to print an assessment only workbook, which has got about 40 pages in it. But your teachers will teach you and talk to you all about that and how to access those. A little video on the role of student services and what they can do. To be honest, basically any question you kind of have around enrolling, timetabling, Centrelink, student cards, travel cards, all go to student services. Okay, so as a first year experience coordinator, I can give you academic advice. Don't go to student services for academic advice, and kind of any other question you can ask student services. Okay, here's my little video. Oh, okay, have I got a new share? Let's see you. Okay, so I might need to go to this. Here we go. This is a new share here.
The college is committed to providing you with support and services so you have a positive and enjoyable college experience and are well prepared for university or other pathways. Student Central is your first point of call for all general inquiries regarding your enrolment, including timetables, university offers, transfers, and fee payments. Forms can also be submitted at Student Central. Also, please see our friendly staff for the issue of your student card and to receive information about travel concession. Please also drop in or call the college to make an appointment with a counsellor, welfare officer or a disability officer. Welfare officers are available for assistance with non-academic issues and referrals to other services. Financial assistance is also available for textbook vouchers, student grants and educational assistance. Check your student diary for more information. Counsellors provide a free confidential service in areas such as assistance with personal concerns impacting your studies, study support and skills development, information on support available including financial assistance. They can also help you with strategies around stress and exam worry, time management, family and relationship difficulties, motivation and improving memory and organisational skills. The college has a dedicated disability advisor. If you have a recognised disability such as hearing or vision impairment, epilepsy or a mental health issue, we may be able to provide assistance and make reasonable adjustments to your learning and assessments.
Okay. Now it's going to stop. Hold on. When's the music going to stop?
A variety of sporting equipment and games are available on loan for your use. Please see your campus life officer on your campus. The official the college and students is your student email account. The college will not
Hold on, I'm going to pause and let's do a new screen share. Let's see if this is going to work.
respond to emails that do not come from a student email account. It is important that you check your student email account every day. If you change your address or mobile number, or if there are any changes in your contact details, please update your record through My Student Records. Please note the college utilises text communication to augment the official email communication, so it's important to update your mobile number. Please go to the college website for information and links to policies and forms and My Student Record, My Tutor, and many other applications. The college Facebook is a great way to stay in touch with what is happening around the college, including upcoming student activities and workshops, helpful links, and photos and videos. It is important that you finalise your payment or your Commonwealth loan, HECS, and your Services Amenities Fee or SAF by Census Day. Payments can be made through One Stop on the student portal. Please contact Student Central if you need assistance. You must carry your student card at all times. The student card acts as your library card and is also used for printing and as an access card for some spaces. Please refer to your student diary for important information like the Starting at Western Sydney page, and also other useful information such as college maps and your academic calendar. In conclusion, make the most of this opportunity and enjoy and take advantage of the many opportunities and events. Make yourself familiar with the college policies through the website or your student diary. Check your email daily. Update your contact details. Make sure you know when census date is. And if in doubt, ask.
Perfect. I got there. You got half of it at least. Okay, so let me see, go back to my new share here. Okay, so almost done. And then we can ask some questions as well. So lots of things kind of like online, and there are virtual experiences as well. So as I said, certainly I would encourage you guys to get involved in some of the activities that are at school so you feel connected. And yeah, hopefully there'll be some things coming, a few more activities for you guys to all have and engage into. So lots of ways you can get connected: email, Facebook, Twitter, phone calls as well.